What are your thoughts about developing new employees specifically?
Yeah, this is something that I've thought pretty heavily about. And if you've ever picked up a book on onboarding employees, there's a lot of them out there, and I think they all have a good relevance to certain pieces of them. But for me, I had to come up with a model for myself. For any organization that I might be helping, I want to have a model available. And so I've come up with this with new employees for people development. We need to look at it in four broad categories. The first one is prep. The second one is mentor, then release, then support. So prep, mentor, release, support. And I came up with this model because I realized that a lot of people skip the prep. And I'll give a quick overview of what prep is. We need to, as organizations, be able to tell employees why the company exists. Like, what is the reason? Now, a lot of people think of mission statements, and that's good, but you got to make it more relevant for them, like even more personable. If they're in accounting, why does the accounting department exist? If you're in safety, why does safety exist? If you're in operations, why does that exist? So you need to dive deeper into the organization and give them the reason why their job exists, not just why the company exists, but why their job exists. And then in prep, I think another thing to mention is expectations, standards, and training are all important. It's always good when someone's coming into an organization. If you want to develop them quickly, you've got to focus on this prep stage, which does involve training. You need to evaluate what they need right off the bat and figure out how you're going to get it to them faster. Because in the prep stage, you're going to do a lot of listening. You're going to do a lot of job shadowing, if you will, or a lot of cross-referencing. But you're not going to be hands-on right away. And so in the prep stage, I think you really need to focus on making sure they understand the standards and the expectations and getting that training as well. And then in the mentor stage, make sure that your company is really focusing on who are the people who represent your company well and do what they do very well. A lot of people think, well, John's been here in this company for 40 years, so he's a great mentor. We need to have him be the mentor. Well, that's not always the case. I'd rather have someone that only has 5 years experience, but is very apt to help people in what they do and help people learn. Now that's a great mentor because they're always going to find the answer. You talked about earlier that when people ask the questions, you may not always know the answer to those questions, but if you're a good mentor, if you're someone who's a good people developer, you're going to always find the answer for them or find someone who has the answer for them. And then the third one was release. And this is where they get all their opportunity. They get their opportunity to show you that they can do it, to show you that they've been listening, that they've been paying attention to the people developer, the mentor at that time too, whoever it is. And then check in when needed, which is the support stage. Make sure that they understand that they can ask questions anytime. Don't be the bottleneck to them, and don't allow them to not ask questions and just try to make their own mistakes, because every organization has probably made every mistake at least once already. And we don't do a great job of sharing those mistakes. And so in the release and support stage, that's another important aspect, which is, make sure that they understand that any question they have, run it by you if it's a question that they really have uncertainty on. And so again, the stages I think are prep, mentor, release, and support.
That's a very detailed, very good answer. Hope you don't mind me saying.